teachers of the Brahma Kumaris World Spiritual University. It's a place, as the name suggests, for understanding the self, for really questioning who am I. It's an organisation that has over teaching centres in over 110 countries right around the world, and an active presence in even more countries than that. And it gets involved in everything from organising big international conferences and seminars, right down to working at the grassroots level, working with people who are going through maybe the consequences of a big disaster and are in need of help practically. The organisation was founded in India in 1936 through a series of visions and teachings which came through the original founder, Brahma Baba. And they're teachings which are very much felt to be specifically geared towards this transitional phase that many people feel that we're going through at the moment, where there's a lot of change happening and we seem to be moving from one way of being to another way of being. And one of the things that the founder decided quite early on was that it was important that women, the qualities of women, the qualities of the mothers, were kept in front, making the Brahma Kumaris, as a result, the largest organisation of its kind, spiritual organisation in the world, to be led by women. Well, let me introduce you to our navigator on this journey through the topic of karma today, someone who may well be known to you already. She's Shivani Verma, who went from being a young gold medalist engineering graduate to the face of the Brahma Kumaris, many would say, in the space of just a few short years. Now, having had a connection with the Brahma Kumaris through her mother and grandmother from a very young age, her own spiritual awakening very much began in 1996. When the spiritual life that she had been resisting herself for many years in her adolescence and growing into an adult, when she gave up that resistance, you could say, and found that the spiritual life was going to be for her, everything just suddenly fell into place. And since 2007, Shivani has been doing a daily television talk show for many years called Awakening with Brahma Kumaris, which was looking at personal, emotional, mental, social and spiritual well-being. She made many thousands of programs which were aired in 5 continents and very much helped millions of people make positive changes to their lives. And through her program, she now has well over 1 million followers on Facebook and YouTube. She's also done many speaking tours to different parts of the world, filling out auditoriums of many thousands of people in places right throughout India, USA and Canada, Australia and New Zealand, the Middle East and Europe, and well beyond. She's also worked with people from all professional backgrounds, the media, academia, commerce and industry, military, schools and colleges. And she's been a motivational speaker for some of the world's biggest companies like Google, Microsoft, Intel, Amazon, Sony, the list goes on. And last year, Shivani was presented with the highest civilian honour for a woman in India, the Nari Shakti Award, the Woman of Power Award, which was presented to her by the President of India. Welcome, Sister Shivani. It's so lovely to have you with us.
Om Shanti, sister. Thank you so much, and thank you for your pure wishes and blessings always.
And thank you for yours as well. Now, I feel like I could spend at least 2 hours talking to you because there's so much I would love to discuss, but we have been given a topic, so I think we should be strict with ourselves and try and stick to the topic, which of course is the law of karma. And it's something that most people, I would say, know about, but very few people feel that they really understand. And it's not just a concept of Eastern philosophy, as it's also there in the heart of Christianity, with phrases like, as you sow, so shall you reap. This idea that if you plant the seed, you will have to eat the fruit of that seed. So can you just give us a broad outline of how you understand this whole topic of karma?
It's 2 words, karma and destiny. And so we're always connecting these 2 words, and we know that as is the karma and so is the destiny. So let's take the first word, which is karma. So karma means the energy I create. So the energy I create in my thoughts, my feelings, my words, my behavior, my intentions, my memory, everything is an energy, a vibration that I create. So the energy I create and I radiate is my karma. It's just that sometimes we look at karma only what is visible, which means the words we speak and the behaviors we do. But karma is not only what is visible, karma is also what is not visible, which are our thoughts, feelings, and intentions. Because we speak few words, but we think a lot. And sometimes we speak right, but sometimes we are not thinking right. So thinking is also part of our karma. So the energy we create and radiate, our thoughts, feelings, words, and behavior is our karma.
And this is a law that applies to every single person, whether they believe or understand it or not. I guess you have to say once someone reaches the age of reason, once they're old enough to be accountable for their actions, this is something that applies universally. It's not just if you happen to grow up in India and believe in the precepts of Hinduism.
Just look at it very simply and look at the impact of every thought we create. Every thought we create, we experience a feeling. And that feeling is based on the thought we have created. So the first impact of our thought is on our feelings. Every thought we create radiates to our body. And that's why doctors tell us, think right, be calm, be peaceful, the body will be better. So many of the diseases are psychosomatic, which means the thoughts affect the body. Now, this is not spirituality, it's simple science that every thought is radiating to every cell of the body. Every thought also reaches people whom we are thinking about. And so we know we've experienced vibrations, we've experienced telepathy. So our relationships are created based on the thoughts we create about people. And every thought we create radiates into the environment. So nature, plants, animals, the air, the water, the planet is influenced by our thoughts. Now, this is not Eastern or Western culture. It's just simple experience, which we all know. So this is karma. My every thought is influencing how I feel. It's influencing my health. It's influencing my relationships. And it's influencing my planet. So if I'm thinking right, I will create happiness. I will create health. I will create harmony. And I will create heaven on earth. I can create heaven in my world if I'm thinking right. So as is my karma, so is my destiny. But if I'm not thinking right, then I will create confusion, stress, anxiety. I can create depression for myself if I don't think right. I can create disease in my body if I'm not thinking right. I can create conflict in my relationships and I can create chaos in the world. That is my destiny based on my karma. So this is simple, law of energy, that the energy I create, I radiate, and that's what manifests. And then I will see the result of my thoughts, maybe immediately, maybe after a few minutes, a few hours, or a few years. And that's when we don't see the connection, that it's the energy we created, which is creating the result today, which we call our destiny. So it's applicable to every soul. It doesn't depend on what age we are. It's like law of gravity. Whether we know it or we don't know it, law of gravity is always working. Similarly, whether we are aware or unaware, law of karma is always working. And which means the energy we create is having an impact. It will have a consequence. Even if we look at it as a simple word, every energy we create has a consequence. That consequence can be called destiny.
So what we're saying is that, the result of our thoughts, our words and actions of the past are very much showing up in what we are feeling and experiencing in the present moment. And I guess that's why meditation is so important, because in meditation we're bringing our awareness to our thinking, our thoughts in this present moment. But I'm wondering what happens if someone in this present moment feels that, they're really having a tough time, that, you hear people say, what have I done to deserve this? And there's a sense in which, maybe they've got relationships that are really causing them stress, a job with a boss who is giving them a hard time.
Right.
And they feel that in a way their karma is catching up with them. Is there a possibility of changing the consequences of past actions? In other words, can we change our karma and thereby change our future?
Okay, let's look at it in a simple direction. The energy we create and we radiate, which means the energy which is flowing out from me is my karma. So just to take it as a physical so that it's easier to understand, I'll hold a ball in my hand and I'll throw it at the wall in front of me. So this ball which I throw is my karma, which means the energy I let out. It's going to hit that wall and the ball is going to return. That ball, when it returns, is the energy which is returning to me. That is my destiny. This ball can return immediately, after 5 minutes, after 5 years, sometimes after 50 years, sometimes after 200 years. But that ball which I throw out, it comes to me. Now, the karma is of the soul. So that's where the spiritual element comes in. Some things we just don't understand. Like we say, why did this happen to me? If I have not been thinking right, not taking care of my body, I understand if a disease manifests and I accept that I didn't take care and so there is this disease. But if a child is born with a disease, or if I have taken very good care and yet my body is not well, then it's a question mark. What did I do for this to happen to me? If I have not been nice to somebody and they're not nice to me, it's easy to accept. But if I've taken care of someone, trusted them, accepted them, been honest, been loyal, and then they betray me, cheat me, it's a question mark. Why did this happen to me? So that's when the spiritual element comes in, that karma is not of my body. Karma is my karma of the soul, because it's the soul who is thinking, feeling, and creating that energy. So today I'm in this costume. Tomorrow, it's time for me to leave this costume, this body. I will take another costume. But the ball that I have thrown, which means the karma that I have created, it's already done. If that ball did not return this time, it will return when I am in another costume. And when that ball returns when I'm in another costume, I don't remember that I had thrown that ball. And that's when the question comes, why did this happen to me? Simple example, suppose I borrow a certain amount of money from you. I remember I've borrowed it from you. Next week we meet again. The dress you are wearing has changed. The dress I am wearing has changed. And you ask me to return the money. I have to return the money. It's my karma. I borrowed from you. I have to return. I cannot say, but I've changed my dress. Why should I return the money to you? It's not the dress which borrowed the money. I borrowed the money. Similarly, this body that we are wearing, it's a dress. Today, suppose I am doing business with you. I cheat you. I betray you. You lose a lot of money. Your happiness, your health, your family gets affected. It's a result of my karma. I was wrong to you. Next 20, 30 years pass. You do not have a very nice life because of the karma I have done. And then I, the soul, leave the body. After having done this karma, I, the soul, leave the body, which means I throw this ball at you, which caused you unhappiness, disease, issues in your family, and I leave the body. Now I take a new body, which means a new dress. 20, 30, 40 years pass. And then I meet you somewhere in another relationship. I don't recognize you. You don't recognize me. But we are the same two souls. I am the one who had cheated you, and you were the one who had faced the consequences of my betrayal. And when we two of us come together in any relationship, that ball which I had thrown to you, that energy returns to me. But because I don't remember what I had done, the question arises, why did this person do this to me? What have I done to them for them to be so mean to me? I have done nothing to them because I don't remember what I have done in my past costume. So that's the only little element which we need to understand, which we will understand based on spiritual consciousness, which is I'm not this body. So karma is not confined to only when I am wearing this physical costume. Karma is my journey Even when I'm changing my costume, my karma carries on with me.
So what we're saying very much is that in order to properly understand the concept of karma, you have to also understand the concept of the soul, and that the soul has lived in a previous costume, and that possibly what you're experiencing now is the consequences of actions performed before this current experience in this body. And I suppose that can work two ways. It can also work in a positive way. And I just want to talk about your own experience in your life, because you graduated in engineering with a gold medalist. Many would have predicted you having a glittering career in science and engineering, but you ended up working in a television studio, and as a result of that found yourself in front of the camera and then making all of these programs, which have served and benefited millions of people from around the world. Now, you could say that you didn't actually perform any karma to bring that about. It's just something that seemingly happened to you randomly. Was that your destiny? Is that the will of God intervening? Or maybe you had done some past karma that made it happen in that way? But it can be hard to understand things that happen like that, seemingly out of the blue, in the context of this philosophy of karma. How do you see that for your own personal journey?
If we look at that flow of energy, I throw the ball out, karma. The ball returns to me, destiny. Now, when this ball returns to me, I have to throw a new ball. Like you said in your earlier question, if someone's not right to me, can I change my karma now? It's that ball which is returning to me. I cannot do anything to the ball which is returning to me, which means I cannot change people, I cannot change situations. But when that ball is returning to me, the way I respond now, which means how I think about them now, how I behave with them now, is my new karma. So which means at every point of time, three aspects of time: past, present, future. The ball which I had thrown in the past is returning to me. How I respond now and throw the new ball is my new karma. This is my present. And this new ball which I will throw will come to me again, which will be my future. So past is returning to me, present is getting created, and future is getting decided. So as far as my personal experience goes, when I look at it in my present, which means in this costume, so I don't think I have done anything by which I could be playing this role or be this instrument for this seva, because there's nothing that I did for it right now in this costume. But when it comes to me, all that I have to do is now be right, which means destiny has given this to me based on probably a past karma, because nothing can come to us in our destiny if it's not a part of our past karma, because law of karma is fair with everybody. Nothing is happening right or not right, good or not good. Nothing is happening on its own. It's all a part of our karmic connections. So when that destiny comes to us, how we respond, what karma we create now in the present, that will decide our destiny for tomorrow. So when this seva or this program started, it's my destiny. So destiny based on past karma, because I know that in my present costume, I've done nothing for it. But now when it comes to me, my responsibility in my present karma is to keep a surrendered intellect, keep a silent mind, and allow God's energy and God's knowledge to use me. So that's my present karma. So destiny, result of past karma, responsibility in my present karma, and now my present karma will create my future destiny. So that karmic connection is always going to go on. And that's why we say in Hindi, it's a very beautiful word, Trikaldarshi, which means three aspects of time: past returning, present getting created, future getting decided. At every moment, three aspects of time are working: past, present, and future.
I really like this idea of you throw the ball, which is your karma, and the ball comes back to you, which is your destiny. Because in a way, what that does is it reframes our experience of the world in the present moment. That whatever challenges we have coming up for us, whatever we feel that we're facing, if we go with this idea that you're putting forwards, what that means is that everything is perfectly tailored to me. And I might shake my fist at it and say, this, I never asked for this. This is his fault that I've got this happening. If only I had got the job rather than her, I would have had the car and the house or maybe the partner whatever it is, the situation I'm in is perfect for me. And that takes away any anxiety around, feeling frustrated with anything that's happening in my life. And that is quite a liberating thought.
It also gives us the responsibility. Otherwise we blame destiny. We blame people for what's going on in our life. But when we understand the law of karma and we hold on to it always, we take responsibility for everything that is happening to us and responsibility for how we are going to respond to what is happening to us. And we will not blame God, people, or destiny for what is happening. And that's why the line is very beautiful. Everything is predestined. Even people, they say to each other, it's okay, everything was predestined. So what is the meaning of predestined? So predestined is a previously written destiny. But written by who? Written by me. It's just that I've forgotten that I've written it. So everything is predestined. So I have written this destiny for me, and so I have the power now to take it forward in the direction I want to take it. That's very important. If we blame other people, then even our present karma becomes of blame, anxiety, hurt, resentment, hatred, and so that karmic account gets even more complicated because it's not going to end here. This is our present energy of blame, hurt, hatred. So the present is again painful, and we've already written a future which is not a very happy one. So moral responsibility always, that it's for me now to throw the right ball now, however the ball may be which must be returning to me, which means whatever is happening to me in my life, the power still lies with the way I respond now to the situation, because the power will always be in the present karma. Past karma is powerful, destiny is powerful, but the present karma is more powerful than the return of the past karma. So always we need to hold on to the present karma.
I want to ask you about the role of intuition and premonition and having a sense of your destiny. Because you were taken to the Brahmakumaris Center, I think at the age of 5 by your grandmother. And you had a powerful experience and you recognized something that you saw that really resonated for you. And although you went off and did your own thing for a while, it then came back into your life at a later date. And I've had similar experiences in my life where you almost have a sense of what is coming up for you next. You can feel it. And I wonder, is that your predestiny speaking to you from the future? Or is that your intuition that is somehow able to interpret your karma in a way that tells you what might be coming up for you? How do you understand intuition, premonition?
See, once we understand the soul and that the karma is all recorded on the soul. So when I went to the center for the first time as a child of 4 and 5, children remember their past birth, which means they wouldn't have complete clarity about what it was, but they will have that faded memory of their past because they're still children. Till the age of 5, 6, a child still remembers their past. As they grow up, the present overrides and they start forgetting the past. It's like even in our present life, no? We remember what happened yesterday, we remember what happened last year, but we've forgotten what happened 15 years back or 20 years back. So when I went to the center as a child of 5, I could I could connect with the vibrations of the center. I felt I was in a familiar place. In fact, my first feeling when I walked into the meditation room of the center was, I've been here, I know these people. It's such a strong feeling that even I can feel it even right now, what was my experience when I walked in there the first time. And I thought, I know all of them. And I felt I was in my comfort zone. I was where I belonged. So that was my feeling in those initial years. But then, because it did not continue as a sustained practice of going there daily, so this is where the present karma role plays. Had I continued, or had I been nurtured as a child to continue going to the center, my present karma would have been different. But my present karma was I got disconnected. Then I forgot about it. Then about 18, 20 years, again, no connection, never gone to the center. And then after 20 years, I went to the center again. But now when I went to the center, I did not experience that kind of a connect because I had layers and layers of karma of my 20 years of the present now. Then it took me some time. I felt I didn't need it. I felt I didn't need spirituality. I don't need meditation. I'm very happy in my life. So I had that initial resistance when I went there at the age of 24, 25. So it took some time. But because my parents were going there and my mummy would meditate at home, then again those vibrations, those words, that way of living came back into the family. And somewhere that vibration just cleaned off what was written in the last 20 years. It just cleaned that layer and I felt connected again, just instantly after some time. It just happened one day. Okay, I want to try this out. And the journey began again. So it's so subtle the way everything is recorded on the soul. Why sometimes do we feel, okay, I thought this was going to happen and this has happened? It's because we've already written it in our destiny. I was going to meet this person. I knew this was going to happen today because it's already predestined. And what is predestined is recorded on the soul. So sometimes when we clean the mind out of our daily clutter, so which means when we meditate, when we keep our mind very silent, then it's easier to see what is there in the deeper subconscious. When our mind is very cluttered with our day-to-day noise, then we cannot see that deeper layers of the subconscious. And so meditation helps us to increase our intuition power. And the more we meditate and clean and silence our mind, we are really sometimes able to experience that, okay, I think this is going to happen. And really, it happens there. So it's a very natural thing for many of us. So I think it's very, very simple because it's all predestined. It's easier to feel it before it really happens to us in this lifetime.
Very interesting, because it does often happen that you'll see someone who you've never met, but you'll recognize something in them, and it's almost like your karma that you have. You meet that and you know that there's going to be some part to play with that person, and you then do.
It's because it's that same soul, no? It's again those two souls. They've been together before. In which relationship? When? They don't remember. But when they two come together again, in any relationship, it could be two people in the same workplace. But when they come together, that same vibration start getting created there because they've met before. Now, if it was a very pleasant interaction last time, they'll get along very well now when they meet. But suppose the last time was not very good, then they'll have issues this time. So that's when we say the past carry forward into the present. So now, if I'm having a little issue or a conflict with someone, or someone else has a problem with me, I need to remember it's not their fault. It's my carry forward of a past karmic account. But I have the power to create the right karma now and to change the energy of this relationship. So the present is very powerful.
I wonder what part you feel divine intervention plays. People have this phrase, the hand of God. It's God's will if something happens. People do sometimes feel that there is an aspect to what they're experiencing, to what is happening to them, that comes from beyond, that comes from a divine intelligence. What role do you see that as playing in your life and in people's life in general?
When we don't understand the law of karma, we normally say everything that's happening is because of God's will. So whether it's a small situation in my life, or it's a crisis, or it's a global crisis, people say, oh, it's God's will. Everything is happening according to the will of God. But if we had to just pause and reflect, there's so much happening in the world today. Disease, untimely death, epidemic, disaster. Is this going to happen because of God's will? Would God want this to be there in our destiny? So if God was writing our destiny, then two things would be very natural. One, our destiny would be perfect because God is writing our destiny. And second, our destinies would be equal. God cannot write more for you, less for me. That's not fair. God cannot do that. It's like a parent with two children. The parent will be fair to both, and the parent will give the perfect to both. So if God was writing our destiny, destinies would be perfect and destinies would be equal. Today our destinies are not perfect. Most of the things are good, but some things are not our way, and our destinies are not equal. So because karma is not always perfect and our karmas are not the same, so our destinies are not all perfect and our destinies are not equal. So one, we should not blame God for our destiny. So we cannot say everything is happening according to God's will. But divine intervention is different from God's will. God's will means everything is happening according to God's will. Divine intervention means when we connect to God, when we study what God is teaching, when we follow God's directions, God's knowledge, we implement that in our life, we connect to God, we share with God everything about our life. It's a very personal relationship. So it's a relationship with the divine. Now simple, it's like a relationship with my parent or with a friend. Suppose I had an issue today in my life and I just tell my parent, bless me, I want this thing to get resolved. And my parent will bless me. Don't worry, everything will be okay. It's their blessing. They cannot go and do my karma in college or at work, but they can bless me. Bless me means they radiate high vibration energy to me. When they radiate that blessing to me, it changes my karma, which means it changes my way of thinking because they have empowered me with high vibrations. When I go into my situation, I will go with a different energy. When I go with a different energy, my karma changes and therefore my destiny changes there. And when that destiny changes there, I return home and I say to them, everything happened because of your blessings. We say that. We say that to so many people. It's your blessings, it's your prayers which created miracles in my life. So blessings, prayers of people cannot change my karma, but it can change my state of thinking, and my thinking changes my karma. So similarly, divine intervention. When we connect to God, we share our problems. We invoke God's energy and powers into our life. Our thoughts change. Our intentions change. Our feelings change. Our karma changes. God's energy and knowledge flows through our karma because our karma is based on what God is teaching us now. And then, whatever happens in our life, we say it's because of God. It's because of what I got from God. It's because of the knowledge, because of His power. It's not me. I could have not done this. This is divine intervention. Divine intervention only because we invoked that divinity into our life. If we don't invoke it, we will not be able to get that divine intervention in our life. So we have to invoke it with our study, with our meditation, with our connection with God. God cannot give more to one, less to another. That's for sure. God cannot do that. God has to be the same with every child. But how much the child takes from the parent, that will decide how much the parent is able to give to the child. It's like the sun. The sun gives the same energy to everyone. Someone closes their window and someone uses solar power and creates magic. But the sun is the same for everybody. But what we do with the solar energy is going to be our karma and our destiny. So same with God's knowledge and energy. We can create miracles and divine interventions in our life if we keep using God's knowledge and power in our every karma.
So it still boils down to our thoughts, our thinking, our being, our doing in the present moment.
But the more we will use God's knowledge in it, it won't feel like it's our own karma. It will feel as if God is using us and getting it done because we're using God's knowledge and power.
But it's us.
It'll still have to be us.
We still have to have the thought to connect to that higher energy.
Yes.
So it is still coming from us in that sense.
Even if it's simply just a pure intention. If you just have a pure intention to be able to do something and it will happen, that's also what we call divine intervention. But for that divine intervention, we had to have that pure intention to make it happen. So that intention is also our karma.
So we're kind of wandering into the territory of practical steps that we can take to change our situation that we find ourselves in now. And we've just laid out very clearly a very powerful step we can do, which is to take the thought, have the decision to connect to that higher vibration and energy and draw that down to illuminate and give us energy and strength to do whatever it is that we're doing. What are the other things that we can do practically in our day-to-day life that we can really begin to see having beneficial effects on our karma, on our current situation, and thereby change, in a way, our destiny? What can we do day to day?
When we understand this law, that as is my karma, so is my destiny, we understand that we have the power to create a destiny of our choice, but the power lies in our karma. So now the responsibility is to create elevated karmas, which means my every thought, feeling, word, behavior will need to be accurate. But for that to be accurate, I will need to create the right intentions, thoughts. For that, I need the knowledge, what is right karma, what is not. And second, I need to be able to implement the knowledge which I have. Simple knowledge, everyone knows they should not get angry. And yet we react. And we say, I know we should not, but I don't know what happened to me. So I have the knowledge of the right karma, but I don't have the power to implement the right karma. So to be able to implement the right karma, I also need power. So I need two things, the knowledge of what is right karma and the power to implement the right karma. These two things, knowledge and power, come from spiritual study and meditation. So spiritual study gives knowledge, even a simple first point of spirituality. I'm not this body, I'm not this role, I'm not this position, I'm a pure divine soul. It starts working on our ego. And once we shift from ego consciousness to soul consciousness, our level, the vibration of our karma changes. But that happened only with the spiritual knowledge. So knowledge and power, spiritual study and meditation, when we make that as a part of our lifestyle, the vibration of our karma starts getting elevated. So a very simple lifestyle that if we keep an hour in the morning for ourselves, that's priority. An hour in the morning for energizing the soul with study and meditation will help us to remain connected to the divine throughout the day and also to use the study and the knowledge from the divine in our every thoughts and feelings. Now throughout the day, destiny will offer a lot of situations and scenes to me, which is that ball coming on the return journey towards me, and I will have the power to respond right if I have energized myself in the morning. So it's like physical. If I exercise daily and I eat well daily, then when there is a situation during the day, I'm able to run, I'm able to climb 5 flights of stairs without getting breathless, I'm able to be in a different environment and not fall sick because I have a good immunity system. So my response to the change of situations outside is a healthy response because I'm daily exercising and nourishing myself. Now that's on a physical level. This is on an emotional and a spiritual level. So a lifestyle which is a meditative lifestyle. The first thing that we need to take care of is the energy of the money we earn. Money is not just currency, it's vibrations. So we need to be very careful at our workplace. The intentions with which we work, the way we work, whether people with whom I'm working are happy and contented with me, whether the client for whom I'm working is contented with me. So the money that I earn should come home with blessings. Blessings of the people who I work for, blessings of the people who I work with. So money should come home with blessings. The money will be used to buy the stuff in the house, but the blessings will be that energy will give us happiness, health, harmony in the house. So the simple way to earn blessings is first through the way we earn money in the family. So money is the first karma we need to take care of. So one is money, second is our food, because food has a direct impact on our mind. We are what we eat. So the vibrations of our food also need to be very pure, very powerful, so that it energizes the mind, and the energized mind will always do the right karma. So that's where a strict vegetarian diet, food cooked in the remembrance of God, eaten in the remembrance of God, which means high vibration diet, will keep a very calm, powerful, clean mind, right karma. So money, diet, and then for the mind, 1 hour in the morning, spiritual study and meditation again keeps the mind right. If these three things are taken care of, the soul is on a journey of creating right karma in every scene. And even if there is a destiny, which means a previously written destiny, a difficult situation which comes in our life, a crisis, sometimes a repeated crisis after crisis, we are energized to be able to handle the crisis with calm and dignity, which means the present karma will be right because we are leading a very, very pure and meditative lifestyle, which means the soul is being energized to be able to do the right karma always. So spirituality and meditation, really, really very powerful tools to be able to create right karma, even if no one around you is doing the same. So you're able to be away from peer pressure and implement what you know and understand is right karma.
That was almost like a little spiritual checklist that you go through in your own mind, which you set out very beautifully. But I can just hear a voice in my head of someone who says, I know what Sister Shivani is saying is right. My conscience bites me. We say the conscience bites if I do something wrong, and I recognize that Shivani is speaking truth. But I'm just someone who lacks self-discipline. I know what I should do, but I can't do it. Or I've just got too much going on in my life at the moment. I'm just too busy with other things. I can't attend to this that you're talking about. And anyway, I just don't have the strength to observe these things because, it's quite a tall order to be right in all of these ways that you're setting out. How would you give courage to someone who would say, look, I really appreciate the spiritual path that you're setting out, but I lack the self-discipline. I lack the strength to put that into practice in my life. It's just, I can't do it.
It's something as simple as when someone tells us, go for a walk every morning, 30 minutes, it's good for health. For some time, we keep postponing it. We say, no, I have so much more to do. I can't do it. That's also our karma. We are postponing taking care of our health. This will have a consequence on our health. Then someone sweetly motivates us, pushes us, nudges us, and says, okay, come, I'll take you for a walk. Even then we are reluctant. We keep postponing it. Then they continue. Then we say, okay, I'll walk only for 5 minutes. Let's walk only for 5 minutes on the first day. We don't need to go for a 30-minute walk the first day. But when we walk for 5 minutes, we will see the benefit of that 5 minutes. That will give us the strength to walk 10 minutes next week. And then gradually, we'll start walking 30 minutes a day. And after a few days, come rain, come thunder, you'll hold your umbrella and go for a walk. And we see so many people doing that whatever happens, they will take their umbrella and go for a walk. Why? Because they've seen the benefit of it. Now they don't have to make an effort to go for the walk. The walk has become a part of their natural lifestyle. The same thing happens with spirituality. When I came the first time to the center and I said, oh, too much to ask for. First, wake up early, then don't eat this, don't do this. I thought there was too many do's and don'ts because, we don't realize all those do's and don'ts were for our good. So initially I was very reluctant. I said, I can't follow so many disciplines. Don't do this, don't do that. And so the sister very sweetly, she said to me, she said, don't worry, don't follow anything. Just come and study whenever you feel like it, just come. So she made it very simple for me and she said, just come whenever you like. So I started going. Initially, 10 minutes, 5 minutes with my mother. Just go walk around there, feel the energy, come back. Then it's like those baby steps of walking. You know how a baby starts walking? They're not going to run the first day. So you take your tiny baby steps and within a few days, a few weeks, a few months, as per how your journey goes, it's going to become a part of your lifestyle, a very, very natural part of your lifestyle. And really when it becomes our lifestyle and we look back and we say, oh, why did I have to take so long to be able to implement all this? Because you realize it's so beneficial for us. So don't look at it and get scared. Just take baby steps only because you have seen people around you who did it and they benefit. And second, because you also want to change the quality of your life, whether it's your inner world of feelings and intentions, your health, your relationships. If you want to create even a slight shift in that, then let's experiment with spirituality and meditation. Just an experiment, not a permanent lifestyle. Just an experiment for a couple of months. After that, we'll decide whether to continue or whether to quit. But let's do the experiment.
There's a crucial aspect to what you said there, which is the friend who encouraged you to go for even just 5 minutes for a walk, or the person who inspired you to go to the centre just for 5 minutes to have a look around. Because what that says to me is the importance of who you spend your time with. And you can make the decision to choose to spend time with people who are inspiring and uplifting, and that will get you going. But also thinking of today's world where so much of our influences are coming at us through social media, and we're bombarded every day by influences telling us to do this and do that and do the other, that this is another very practical thing that we can do to make sure that the messages that are getting through are messages that are going to be beneficial, that are going to inspire me, uplift me, rather than bring me down. And if people are negative and gossiping and, really chit-chatting in a negative way, just choose to not spend so much time with those people. So this is another very practical thing that we can do, given what you've just said.
The content we consume has a direct impact on our thoughts and feelings. So we call our content consumption our emotional diet. So what we watch, read and listen is who we become. When we spend a lot of time with media and social media, we're consuming too much content. We need to be careful what's the quality of the content, because that's what we will become. When we go to the center for an hour or for 30 minutes, that's also a content consumption. We're going there to study, or to listen to a sister, or to watch a video, or to listen to God's spiritual knowledge. It's a content consumption. So we've replaced the content we would consume listening to the world news first thing in the morning, and replaced it with a spiritual study first thing in the morning. Just this change of content in the early morning hours has a direct impact on the karma and the destiny throughout the day, because we changed our diet. So if we want to become spiritually, emotionally, mentally strong, all that we need to do is just take care of our emotional diet, which is what we watch, read, listen. Initially, tasty things always seem better than healthy things, but we all know what's tasty and what's healthy. So like gossip is tasty, but we know it's not healthy. Listening to a spiritual video, sometimes, people write to me on social media, please don't post 20-minute videos. Please make it short, just 2-3 minutes. So when it comes to something pure and positive, people want 2-3 minutes. If it's listening to gossip, they can choose to be 15-20 minutes. But it's a choice. But even if we start listening to 5 minutes, gradually, one step at a time, it will start creating a shift inside. But the initial stage of consuming that pure content, whether it's through media, whether you go to a center, whether you talk to a friend, that initial first karma, we will have to do that. It's like we will have to choose what we consume. So that's our karma. Destiny follows.
It's absolutely brilliant. It all leads back to our thought in this present moment. And that is why the practice of meditation is so crucial, because that's where we're placing our attention. Now, I said that I needed a couple of hours, and I feel like I could keep going for another hour. But I'm aware that we're talking about consuming content, and maybe it's time to now consume some positive emotional content in the form of actually practicing this experience that you're talking about, of really becoming present to the present moment, observing what influences are coming to me and how I can transform that to make decisions that will really bring positivity into my life and benefit me going forwards.
Sure.
So if we could just share with you some moments of meditation, that would just be beautiful.
In our meditation today, let's choose one karmic account which we want to change, which means a karmic account with any one soul which we want to change. We want to change the energy that we have in that relationship. Meditation can be a very powerful tool for changing the quality of our energy with any one relationship. Let's do it now. So think of one person, and we're going to use God's power to radiate the right energy to that soul. So choose any one relationship which you want to change, or you want to strengthen, you want to make it stronger, or you want to make it even more beautiful than what it is right now. And you want to release the past. You want to release what's happened. You want to release the hurt that you're holding on to. So just choose any one relationship and let's sit back. This costume, the body that I'm wearing, it's my dress. I, the being, am the master of this body. Conscient energy. I'm the creator of my every thought, feeling, and karma. I'm the creator of my destiny. At every step, it's my choice. It's my responsibility. I've been on a long journey, many costumes, different relationships, many karmic accounts. Most of them have been very beautiful karmic connections. And today, I'm experiencing that beautiful consequence of my past beautiful karma. My family, my friends, harmonious relationships, they are a carry forward of my beautiful past karmic accounts. In one of them, I've made a mistake earlier, and today I'm going to change the energy of that relationship, because I have the power to change my karma and change my destiny. I bring that soul on the screen of my mind. And I understand it's not their fault. It's our past karmic account. It was both of us, and it is both of us today again. Past is past. It's over. A new beginning. A new karmic account. God's powers, God's love, God's blessings. Give me the strength to change my karma today. My every thought for them is acceptance, respect, trust. I focus only on my karma. It's a new beginning, a new karmic account. From today, harmony in this relationship is my destiny. I am the creator of my destiny. My every thought for them is pure. My every word for them is a blessing. Om Shanti.
Thank you so much, Sister Shivani. A very beautiful way to bring consciousness to our relationships and transform whatever we want into something positive and uplifting. You've given us so much inspiration to really use that determination and look at our karma, look at our way of being in the world.
Thank you.
Thank you. Om Shanti. And thank you to you as well for joining us from wherever you are. So much to take into our hearts and think about and apply in our daily lives. It'll really keep us thinking for a while to come yet. Join us again next time on Masterclasses. Until then, do take care, keep safe, keep well, keep happy. Om Shanti and goodbye. "21 Masterclasses in New Consciousness. New ways of thinking, being and doing for the new you."